Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. So far 3 units I have completed in the subject of theory and practice of GST. Last unit, third unit, I have explained you about the accounting of GST transactions, exports and imports. Then I have discussed about composite dealers, unregistered dealers, then SEZ sales, then differences between mixed supplies and composite supplies, recording of purchase transactions from unregistered dealers, exports and what are the types of exports, tax applicability of exports. All these things I have explained in the last video. So now in this video I am going to continue with the fourth unit where I am going to explain you about the services. Because GST consists of tax on goods as well as services. So what is the meaning of the term services and what is the determination of place of supply of services? In this video I am going to explain you. So if you want the complete knowledge, watch all the videos till the end. If you have not watched the earlier videos, I suggest you to go to the playlist of my channel. Select the subject theory and practice of GST. Watch the initial videos, be perfect with the provisions, then you can come to this video, you can understand better. So watch the video till the end, don't skip in between. Take the screenshot of the points which I have written on the board, then I'll explain all the points in detail. Now, the topic of this unit number 4 is getting started with GST services. So the whole unit is, surround around the topic services. So first of all, I'm giving the definition, meaning of the term services. So service is an act or performance offered by one party to another party. So two words you remember, a service is an act or performance given by one party to another party. The act which is given, the performance which is given by one party to another party, that is called service. The performance is essentially intangible. That means we cannot see the services, we cannot touch the services, but we can feel the services. It is intangible and does not normally result in the ownership of any factors of production. That means the services which are given by one person, it does not have any factors of production. Like for making the goods, we require factors of production. But for providing the service, there is no question of factors of production. Then third one, services are applicable for tax as per the central government of India. So according to GST law, the services are also taxable. Then service is one of the terms used in the term full form of GST. In the full form of GST itself, the term is included service. GST, goods and services tax. That means the government is applying the tax not only on the goods but also on the services. Now service is one of the terms. The introduction of GST imposed the taxes on services is a service tax category. The law has defined that the services are also taxable under the head service tax category, and all the services mentioned under the GST law are subject to service tax. The GST law has specified a number of services which are subject to GST law, and when the service is subject to GST law, then service tax will be applied. This is the brief meaning of the term services. In examination, very frequently a question will be asked, explain the meaning of services under GST law. Next topic I am going to explain you about is the determination of the place of supply of service. Just like place of production of goods and sale of goods, similarly we have to determine the place of supply of services. Now, determining the place of supply of service is very important for the appropriate calculation of tax. As the calculation of tax, as the GST rates are different for different states of India. In India, every state will have a different rates of tax. So that when tax is applied on services, we have to see where the services are provided. So we have to determine the place of supply of services in order to determine the tax liability, because it differs from state to state, area to area. So place of supply of service should be compulsorily identified. It's a must that we have to see where the service is provided to find out the tax liability. GST rates are based on the area or state in which it is supplied or consumed. So GST law says we have to see where the service is provided. Accordingly, tax will be applied. Thus, the place of supply of service is the location of the supplier. Place of supply of service is the location of the supplier. We have to see where the supplier is providing the service. The following are the two types of supply of services. So GST law has classified the supply of services into two categories. The first is the intrastate supply of service, and the second is interstate supply of service. Intrastate, intra means within. The supply of service is within the same state or within the same union territory. So here the place of supply of service and the location of the supply of service will be same. The place of supply and the place of recipient of the service, both are located in the same state. That is called intrastate supply of service. Example I have given here: if ABC company of Delhi supplied services to XYZ company of Delhi, that means the supplier of the service and the recipient of the service both are located in the same state, Delhi. So this is called intrastate supply of service. The second type of service is interstate supply of service. Interstate means between two states. Example, one service provider is located at one state and the recipient of service is at another state. So supplier of service and recipient of service are located at two different states. Then we call it as interstate supply of service. So place of supply of service and the location of supply of service will be different. Example, ABC company of Telangana supplied services to XYZ company of Delhi. The supplier of the service is located in Telangana and the recipient of the service is located at Delhi. It is called interstate supply of service. So in examination you will get a question regarding explain the provisions regarding determination of supply of services. So you have to explain all the points which I am explaining here. Now, meaning of intrastate supply of service. Separately we have to explain. In examination a question will be asked, explain the provisions regarding intrastate supply of service. So what is intrastate and what are the types of intrastate supply of service? We have to explain. Now I am going to explain intrastate supply of service. Intra means within the same state or within the same union territory, UT. Intrastate supply of service refers to the transaction in which the supplier of the service and the recipient of the service belong to the same state or union territory. Very easy, words to remember, to understand. Intrastate supply of service means a transaction where the supplier of the service and the recipient of the service belong to the same state or same union territory. It means the transaction takes place within the state. Within the state. Now, the intrastate supply of services would be divided into two types. Again, the intrastate supply of service can be divided into two types of services. What are the two types? Intrastate inward supply of service and intrastate outward supply of service. So these are the two types of intrastate supply. Intrastate inward supply and intrastate outward supply. Now separately I'll explain you what is inward and what is outward. The inward and outward supply of services are recorded using the purchase voucher and sales voucher. The intrastate inward invoice, inward supply of service will be recorded in purchase voucher. Similarly, the intrastate outward supply of service will be recorded in the sales voucher. Recorded using sales voucher. So we have two different vouchers, purchase voucher and sales voucher. Inward supply of service will be recorded in purchase voucher. Outward supply of service will be recorded in the sales voucher. Now, intrastate inward invoice, inward supply of services. Now, listen carefully. The intrastate inward supply of services means intrastate receipt of services. So, remember the word receipt. Receipt means inward. When a person is receiving the service, he is the recipient of the service, and this intrastate inward supply of services will be used for receipt of services. The recording of business transaction in intrastate inward supply of service includes central tax and state tax as per the provisions of GST law. So according to GST law, the intrastate inward supply of service is subject to central tax as well as state tax as per the GST law. Then intrastate outward supply of service. Outward supply means services are given. Inward supply means services are taken. Recipient is inward and supplier is outward. Selling of services, giving the services. So the intrastate outward supply of services refer to the supply of services through sale or exchange or transfer or rental or lease or barter and disposal of services in a business. So different terms are there which are used for intrastate outward supply. That means outward supply can be given either through sale form or barter form or exchange form or rental form or lease form or disposal form. So different forms are there through which the services can be given outward. So here it takes place within the same state or union territory, and the supplier of services and the recipient must be in the same location, that is state or union territory, and central tax and state tax are applicable as per the GST law. So for intrastate outward supply is also subject to central tax and state tax as per the GST law. So in this video, I have explained you about the meaning of the term services, then determination of the location or place of services, where the services are given. So in the next video, we'll continue our discussion on these services.